I knew that Quant was my strongest section by far. I knew also that it was possible to have an IT score. So I worked to get my goal, so I knew if I wanted to reach like the perfect Quant score, I needed to do almost all the course. I skipped just little parts, but I think starting with the idea that I need to check everything, even though I think that I knew that was very important, because there is always some trick, there is always something to do to improve your timing or your accuracy. It balanced the diagnostic quizzes with your knowledge. So if I did it like very good in the diagnostic quizzes, I don't have to do all the lessons. So having that suggestions was very useful to save a lot of time. The semantic process, as the name said, is when you like put all your knowledge and really like dive deeper in you, when you really learn the process. So yeah, it's how you put all the things you learned in the lessons, but put it together in another context too. Last mile push was very useful for me, like very, very useful, because you already have all this information about your mock test, about your quizzes, but what you need to do with that information is not that evident. You rush me, I think you have a key role in my learning process, especially at the end, because with your analysis, I knew in which point I should have to put all my effort. So I could improve maybe in the last 2 weeks or in the last month, I could improve those specific aspects. This is not a sprint race. This is a really exhausting marathon. So you have to put all your effort for a long time to see results. So if I can give some advice to anyone hear this conversation, it would be that just do your best and put all your effort for the right amount of time. This is not like a miracle process in which in 2 weeks you are going to improve 100 points. No, that is not going to happen. Yeah, you need to spend the right amount of time.
Hi, everybody, and hi, Cristobal. Welcome to this video debrief session. First of all, I want to congratulate you on your brilliant 685 on the recent GMAT with the perfect Q90 and an awesome massive 6-point improvement in DI to a DA1. Thank you so much for doing this. How does it feel to be here?
Hi, Rashmi. Thank you. It was quite a surprise, the 91. It was the first time that I have all my Quant questions correct, so it was pretty good. I felt confident, but still always something cool went wrong. So yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with the result.
Yes, I know, and it has been quite a journey, right? Because you started with GMAT Classic, and then you moved to GMAT Focus. In GMAT Classic, you had a score of 650, which sort of translates to a 595 on the GMAT Focus. And as I said, it's a brilliant score with the perfect Q90, and data insights. The improvement is just massive, 6 points. So all in all, brilliant that we are here today. It is a testament to your hard work, your commitment. That said, Cristobal, tell me, coming from GMAT Classic, already having prepared for GMAT and coming to GMAT Focus, what was the biggest challenge on the way to a good GMAT score for you?
Yes, time management for sure was the thing to do, because you have to spend too many hours studying, like you have to be really focused, and you also have to do well at work. And yeah, I think that putting aside sometimes your social life, or the activities you like to do, I think that was like the worst part of the process.
Okay.
And the most difficult, but with the help of e-GMAT, I could be very focused on what I have to do, what are the next steps. So yeah, that makes it easier.
Got it. Got it. So essentially, what you mean is it was very difficult for you to manage your professional life, your personal life, along with GMAT preparation. And as you mentioned, you were looking for a structured course that would do the planning bit of it for you, right? So all you had to do every day was show up, do your files, and improve from there.
Yeah,
okay.
It was a mental relief to have that help.
Yes, I'm sure. When you come back exhausted from your work, you don't want to sit and decide, oh, what do I do today, right?
Yeah.
If somebody has made that decision for you, that's a big help, right? So, Cristobal, now let's talk about your quant, right? A perfect Q90. Really happy with that score. That too came after certain issues that you faced in your test. So, with quant, I know that you were already strong with quant, right? But in terms of the prep, absolutely no stones unturned. You did the entire quant course, you did cementing, the whole mile. Okay? So tell me, why did you put in this kind of effort? Right? Why did you end up doing the course? And how beneficial was it in actually getting you to that Q90?
Yeah, I knew that quant was my strongest section by far. I knew also that it was possible to have an IT score. So I worked to get my goal, so I knew if I wanted to reach like the perfect quant score, I needed to do almost hours. I skipped just little parts, but I think starting with the idea that I need to check everything, even though I think that I knew that, was very important, because there is always some trick, there is always some thing you can do to improve your timing or your accuracy. So yeah, that was key. Like,
True.
not assuming that I'm very good at quant and just do the course.
Okay. No, that's I think a brilliant approach. You have to learn, right? And GMAT quant, we know that it's brutal. There is absolutely no room for any weakness. You need to be like almost perfect to be able to get that perfect score. And hats off to you on going the whole mile and just doing everything that was needed. I also know that you used PACE extensively, the PACE feature wherein you took diagnostic quizzes to help you understand what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are on the course, right? So how helpful was PACE? Because especially coming from a relatively stronger quant position, to be able to get this customized pathway into what is it that you need to prepare.
PACE was very useful because it balanced the diagnostic quizzes with your knowledge. So if I did it like very good in the diagnostic quizzes, I don't have to do all the lessons. So having that yes was very useful to save a lot of time.
Yes.
Sometimes I struggle then maybe in cementing, so I always could start again. Maybe I was suggested by PACE to skip those lessons, but then if I realized that I need them, I just did it. So yeah, it saved me a lot of time, 17 hours that I could use learning other things.
When you say that, it saved you a lot, some time, I think it's an understatement, because it saved you 57 hours, right? And if I were to show this, your word problems journey, I can see that just in word problems alone, you can see that you saved 14 hours, almost 15 hours of prep time. And for a person who is trying to juggle multiple hats, trying to balance your prep with all the other commitments that you have, I'm sure this is a great blessing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. And I think one another thing is that it also helped you, I think, identify your weak areas, which, as we started discussing, that GMAT Quant is brutal. You absolutely cannot have any weakness. Okay, so this, I'm sure, helped you tackle a lot of these weaker areas. Am I right?
Yes. The first part is to identify them. So having these clear sections helps you to identify your weakness, your weakness spots. So that's first, and then do something with that information. So you know that you have to improve this specific quant part and not work in all of the quant sections.
Yes. So
like
you
put
don't
the
have
focus
to
in just the important things.
Exactly. So you don't have to take a brute force approach. You can be very strategic about what are the areas that you need to focus on.
Yeah.
Now, coming to data insights, Cristobal, it was a different story. That was a new section that you were preparing for, and your starting score or the baseline score was not great shakes. It was 75. And you improved, as I said, by a massive 6 points in data insights to get a D81. So when you started off, when you took the first mock, what were the challenges that you faced in data insights?
Yeah, time far. I think I didn't answer maybe 4 or 5 questions. That's a lot. So yeah, time management was my weakness in data insight by far.
Got it. So it is not that you did not know how to solve a question, but the process that you used was so lengthy that you were not able to complete the test.
Spent so much time in each question, and I think I always ran out of time with data insight until the end, like the very end, when I learned how to do it.
Yes. So how, you mentioned until you learned how to do it, right? And just doing the course itself through the application files, you would have solved some 350 questions. And plus you did your cementing and all, in which you solved another 500 odd questions. So how did this structured approach of doing the course followed by time practice on cementing really equip you to manage your time better?
Yeah, the cementing process, as the name said, is when you put all your knowledge and really dive deeper in you, when you really learn the process. So yeah, it's how you put all the things you learned in the lessons, but put it together in another context too, because in each section, you know that you are working with some specific topic, so you know what you have to do. But in the cementing process, these sections are mixed, so it's not easier to think about how you should approach the question. So I think that mental exercise to apply everything you learn in the complete section was key too.
Yes. And your stats just show, right? I was looking at your stats in data insights, and what I see here are just brilliant stats. These are all hard question stats. 68, 61% is brilliant performance. And these are all timed quizzes. So when you did go to take the test, the whole practice had helped you not only improve your accuracy, but the time practice had helped you cut down your time and be able to solve the questions in a timely manner, right? And I also have this, I think brilliant sectional mock that you took, in which you scored what a brilliant Q85 right before your test, which is a testament to how all the hard work that you put in really helped you. You started out at a 71, your target was an 81, which you achieved, but you did score at 85. on this mock, and which ideally you would have solved scores the test, but for the interruption that you faced. And we will come to it shortly, but Cristobal, you and I and Akash, my other colleague, we've worked together through the Last Mile Push program, right? And you mentioned discussing that another aspect that you're looking for is a personalized mentorship. And, so what's your take on how the LMP helped you finally reach here?
Yeah. So the first part, I think, is very standard. Just do the courses in the right order. But this last mile push was very useful for me, like very, very useful, because you already have all this information about your mock test, about your quizzes, but what you need to do with that information is not that evident. You rush me, I think you have a key role in my learning process, especially at the end, because with your analysis, I knew in which point I should have to put all my effort. So I could improve maybe in the last 2 weeks or in the last month, I could improve those specific aspects. They made a difference, I think, in my score. So thanks.
No, the pleasure has been mine, right? And I know that you are set for a way better score, I would say, but for the disturbance that you had during your test, and we come to that. The reason I am bringing this up is also because, yes, there was disturbance during the test, which severely impacted your verbal score, because you were constantly hitting 84, 85 in your verbal in the mocks. But, it due to the interruption, it impacted, you got an 81 in verbal. But despite that, you did not let that particular incident affect your quant score, and you bounce back for your data insights also. So it's, I think, a great takeaway in the mental resilience kind of a thing. So I would really want us to talk about it. Do you want us to briefly take us through what happened during the test and how you overcame the hiccup to really come back stronger?
Yeah, the test, like maybe all the pre-test, the test itself is very stressful. So like I was a little nervous, like maybe like all the people, I think almost all the people. The order was verbal, quant, data insight. In the middle of the verbal part, the proctor left the meeting. I don't know, he had some issue maybe, so he left Zoom, and because of that, the test was paused like indefinitely. And with the secure browser, you can do nothing with your computer, so it was blocked. And I was waiting until something happened, and nothing happened. I didn't want to leave the room because of the rules. I didn't want to use another computer because of the rules too. So I was worried about that. I waited for 15 minutes. Okay, long story, but I had to wait like an hour or even more, maybe 1.5 hours until I could restart the test, but not from the beginning, of course, from the when it was paused. And it was just after I read a very long text, I read the answer, and wow, it was paused. And then I had to read it again. Now I lost a lot of time there, like minutes, and I couldn't finish the verbal section. Like the last 2 questions, maybe I just answer randomly. Yeah, but it was very stressful. I was at some point, like at first there was no solution at all, that just to reschedule the exam. But yeah, I think that affected my score verbal. I think I could have maybe 2 more points at least.
Yes.
But somehow I think that adrenaline boost me up in quant.
Okay.
I was maybe more focused. I don't know, but somehow maybe helped me. But then in that insight, I was just tired. I was really tired. So yeah, I improved a lot. It was a good result in that insight too.
Mm.
I was tired. I ended the exam 1.5 hours later than expected.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it took me a while.
No, but it's amazing how you mentioned you took this as a challenge and you're like, I'm going to give it my all in points. And as I said, that requires a different kind of mental resilience. And I think that is what brings things together on the test day. You know, that ability to make decisions on the fly, to be able to really control your emotions into which you're on. And
Yeah,
you know,
it was difficult, but I think one of the keys here was the fact that I was so prepared to do the test that day, that specific day, and that specific time. I had all coordinated to do the test. And like in my mind, like the process ended there. Like that's it. And so I didn't want to reschedule the test for 1 week later. No, that wasn't an option. So I think I just try my best. See what happened.
So you never took the eye off the target, right? The target is still there.
Yeah, like, I wanted to have my life back.
Yes, that's very true. But what a brilliant score despite all these challenges, right? Congratulations to you on that, and all the best for the application cycle, the interviews, and all that stuff. But Cristobal, before we wind up, are there any parting thoughts that you have?
Yeah, I think that there are some posts in internet that says things like how I scored, I don't know, like 800 in 2 weeks. Like I think that kind of posts are harmful for like common people like me. This is not a sprint race. This is a really exhausting marathon. So you have to put all your effort for a long time to see results. So if I can give some advice to anyone in this conversation, it would be that just do your best and put all your effort for the right amount of time. This is not like a miracle process in which in 2 weeks you're going to improve 100 points. No, that is not going to happen. Yeah, you need to spend the right amount of time.
Very true. Very true. I think it's the end score that matters, right? And as you rightly said, it's not a sprint. It is a marathon. So be ready for that long haul.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Cristobal. That was wonderful. And it was great chatting with you. Thank you so much again for taking this time out, and all the very best for the next steps. Thank you.
Thank you.